Hello everyone, my name is Shambhavi. Hope you all are doing well. So now I'll be discussing about a very new topic here, and that is test of two variances. Test of two variances. So this is the topic that we are going to discuss now in this particular one. Okay. So I would just let me quickly take out a new color, then I would explain regarding this particular function as well, that what it is, what are the things that are here, and how to use this throughout and all the things. Okay, right, here we go. Fine. Now, as I told about that, about the F distribution, right? We had discussed about the F distribution. So the another of the use, okay. Another, I could simply not use this. I would just write another use of F distribution. Another use of F distribution is testing two variances. Is testing two variances. Fine. So the another use of F distribution is basically testing of the two variances. Okay. Next, it is often desirable. I will just write out one example as well, so that it is often desirable to compare. It is often desirable to compare two variances. It goes like this: compare two variances rather than two averages. Okay, right? So rather than two averages. So here goes the averages, right? So the another use of the F distribution is basically the testing of two variances. It is often basically we just want to desirable that to compare two variances rather than comparing out the two averages, right? Now, next what we are having, fine. Now let's say for example, for instance, I would say that basically we have a college, and in that college administrators would basically like to we like to have two college professors, okay, that will be grading out the exams to have some variation in their grading. Right. So this is one of the things that actually sorts out our this particular test of two variances as well. So they are bringing other teachers from other particular college so as to give out the grades to their college students. Right. Fine. This is the idea. Fine. Now, in order to perform out a F test of variances, what are the important things that needs to be kept in mind? So I would write that. So I would mention that in order to perform a F test, in order to perform a F test of two variances, F test of two variances, in order to perform a F test of two variances, it is important that the following are true. Fine. So in order to perform out a F test of two variances, it's completely important that the following conditions which I'm mentioning are true. Fine. So the very first condition that goes is the populations from which the two samples are drawn are normally distributed. So here goes the distributed. Fine. So the populations from which the two samples are drawn are normally distributed. This is the very first point that I was talking about, that it should be kept in mind that all those things I'll be discussing, right? So that these should be two. This is the very first point that I had mentioned out. Moving towards the point number 2. So the point number 2, we have the two populations. The two population. Okay, one second. Yeah. So the two populations, LATIONS. The two populations are independent independent. Let me get down here for a short while. So two populations are independent of each other of each other, right? So the two populations which we are having, these are independent of each other. Fine. Now, basically, let me just go above for a short while and let me see what we have discussed. So, we had discussed regarding the test of two variances, right? So, we had seen the under use of F distributions, basically the testing of two variances. Fine. It is even basically often desirable to compare two variances rather than two averages, right? Now, one second. In order to perform a F-test of of two variances, it is important that the following are the conditions which I mentioned. Those conditions shall be true. Okay, otherwise it won't work out like this. Alright. So what's the very first one that I'm having? The very first one that I'm having is the population from where the populations from where the two samples are drawn are normally distributed. So the place from where the two samples are drawn, okay, those are the normally distributed. Next we are having that the two populations are independent of each other. Like both of the populations which you are having, both of them are independent to each other. Right? So hope I get out these idea very much clear to you regarding the selection of all these things. And now we will be stopping up here only, and I'll meeting you in the next video with some more new topics. So this is all for this video. Till then, thank you and take care.